Today I'd like to talk to you about the VISR production suite, which is an open source set of digital audio station plugins for producing and reproducing object-based audio. So during the S3A project, we felt the need to have a self-contained production environment for object-based audio, and at the same time, we wanted to have our own tools in order to be able to improve them and edit them based on our needs and on the needs of our researchers. And so the choice of so we choose to use these audio stations as a common ground in order to be able to allow both audio content producers and audio researchers to exploit this new object-based technology. And as a result, the VISR production suite has been developed under the form of digital audio station plugins. Internally, they use the VISR framework that has been explained earlier, and it uses the VISR framework for the audio engine part, and it uses another framework which is called Juice for easily make them cross-platform. And so far, they've been tested mostly on Reaper digital audio station and using the VST3 format. Let me just explain which are the basic elements of an object-based production. Of course, we have audio objects, which are audio signals with associated metadata. Then all the objects together form the audio scene, which is all the metadata for the objects, and is a representation which is neutral in regard to the output audio format and system. And then we can use different renderers to use this audio scene to generate the output audio signals for different devices and different layouts. So we can address multiple types of devices such as loudspeakers, headphones, and layouts like stereo, binaural, while using the same representation, which is the audio scene. The first of the plugins is called Object Editor, and it's a plugin that transforms each audio track in a digital audio station into an audio object, and and it does that by associating some metadata, which in this case are 3D panning automatable parameters, but in principle can be any kind of metadata, and in fact it can be also semantic metadata, for example. So all these positional metadata are then sent to another plugin, which is the Sim Master. And this Sim Master, basically, the role of this plugin is to have a centralized place where you can control and edit all the objects. So we can, within this table, we can. I don't have the pointer, but yeah, basically with this table, we can edit all the single metadata of all the objects. And then we have different renderers. The first one I'm going to show is the loudspeaker render, which is basically a plugin that takes this audio representation of metadata and generates the loudspeaker signals for different loudspeaker layouts. So basically, we can choose different loudspeaker layouts dynamically using this drop-down menu. While using the same audio representation. And it's worth mentioning that it uses the state-of-the-art bebop rendering, which is provided by the VISR framework underneath. Another available render that we use is the binaural renderer, which allows basically to create binaural content using an object-based production. The main feature, of course, is that you can listen to the object-based production using headphones. You can also choose different dynamics, choose different rendering approaches, such as HOA to so high order ambisonics to binaural, or you can also choose your favorite S3A and VISRs. Probably the most interesting feature of this plugin is that you can use head trackers to perform head orientation compensation, which makes it also very much suitable for VR applications. Through the S3A website, you can also download the VISR production suite, which is, as I said, open source, and you can also find more information about that. So to sum up, the VISR production suite has been developed in the past few years as the first open source set of digital audio station plugins for producing and reproducing object-based audio. So basically, the plugins allow people to exploit the object-based technology, and therefore to also target different audio systems while using a single scalable production. What I'm going to do in the future, hopefully in the near future, I'm going to deliver a version of the plugin, a beta version of the plugin that will also allow even more people to use the plugins by supporting different digital audio stations.